All right, good morning, everyone. Let's keep going. Okay, you see U.S. markets last night pulled back a little bit, just kind of pairing gains. The past four sessions we made record highs on the U.S. indices. Obviously, it was due for a little bit of correction. Still quite modest, 8.2%. Less than 0.5% on the S&P. So it was really just a small correction, if anything, and just a small pullback, maybe consolidating some of the gains. We had two big ones that had earnings out yesterday: Caterpillar and Boeing. Boeing was a nice beat. Caterpillar was quite a big miss, and they also got it lower. I really thought that we'd probably see the markets correct a little bit on the back of that big miss out of Caterpillar, because Caterpillar has been known to be an incredible leading indicator, especially for global growth and investment demand. So I think that anyway, we saw it pull back 6%, but the market just didn't follow it in size. So I think we'll have to continue to see what can be a catalyst if we ever do get one for some downside move in the market. In Asia, we saw mixed action there after we saw really good HSBC flash PMI number out of manufacturing number out of China, showing the best number in 7 months. And kind of giving a little bit of a boost to some potential Chinese upswing. We also, I think part of the reason why China and Japan is starting to have a little bit of trouble rallying is simply because the interbank lending rates continuing to rise there, and the market's concerned about that, obviously. So we'll have to monitor that going forward. That'll be a massive thing in this market if the Chinese government doesn't come into the market soon on that. It'll probably start to create some serious fear. So we'll have to really keep a close eye on that going forward. All right. Yesterday we had Credit Suisse out this morning. Credit Suisse missed on the net income number, 454 million Swiss francs, expected at 724, so it's quite a big miss there. We had Daimler that was out with a nice beat there on the EBIT numbers at 2.23 billion, expected at 2.09. We have MTN with its Q3 trading update. Now, this is really interesting because I think this is, in my mind, this is just, I'm going to take the guidance out of this from what the market was expecting, and just look at what we've got here. We've got this MTN, which has increased subscriber growth month on month by 1.1%. Now, that's for the entire group, to 203.8 million users. Subscribers, sorry. We have ARPU, which is basically flat in SA, up 0.6%. We have Nigeria ARPU, which was actually down a scrap, and Iran that was only up 4.3%. So, when you look at those numbers, the company, it's hardly growing. So, justifying, extensive multiples over kind of what these things are growing or where these things are trading internationally are going to become less and less justified in my mind. So I think this is actually, to me, this is bearish anyway. You slice it. I think we'll have to wait and see how the market reacts to it today versus expectations. But generally, I think it's definitely not a positive trading statement. Clicks out this morning as well. The full year numbers, earnings per share at 2.99, expectations for 2.96. Also a beat on the revenue number, nice beat on the revenue number, about almost 1.25 billion. And then divvy per share was a touch better, 1.20 versus 1.18 expected. And then later today we've got Altria, Ford, Colgate-Palmolive, Microsoft, and Amazon. So getting some industrials and some techs in this afternoon. Going to be really interesting. All right. Let's a lot of market data out today. We already had the Chinese numbers, as we talked about there, better than expected. We got PMI across the entire European region. We've got consumer confidence numbers out of Italy, and then we've got trade balance and initial jobless claims in the States later on today. All right, let's get into the maps. All right. First thing I want to have a look at is CFR. We talked about this a couple sessions ago. Yesterday wasn't as clear. Let's just shorten it up a little bit here. We had this nice little flag that we had setting up, or flag or descending triangle, whatever you want to call it. And we've broken out, but definitively broken out. We've broken it out. You know, if you'd prefer to draw this at the wick, we've still broken out here. Either way, we've really broken out to the upside. So I would say that that we'll have a nice little upside target here in CFR, possibly as high as 107 in the coming sessions. Sorry, I think even as high as 108. You know, this is one of the ones. I mean, the price targets on this thing from some of the investment banks are significantly higher than this in Swiss francs. I think as high as 108, 107 and 108 from a couple of the majors. We're trading at 94 there, so you know, that would put us up around 115 to 120. So I think we really can move to the upside here now that we've finally broken out in CFR. Naspers dropped some support yesterday, if you can believe that. Didn't make it move straight to 1,000 like many of us thought. You can really just see there quite clearly defined. You know, we had kind of held on weak trade action when the market is actually trading well, and we managed to drop that sort of support level yesterday at about let's just zoom forward a little bit more, call it 48, call it somewhere between 45 and 48. So I think unless we can kind of regain those levels on Naspers, I think we're going to struggle going forward in the next couple of sessions. But watch it closely. It kind of has a tendency to do what you don't expect it to do. All right, Mutual is kind of setting up here to potentially make a breakout to all-time highs. Really just kind of also, if you go back and you know, make this a little bit longer term, same sort of thing. We're really just putting in an ascending triangle there, a rising triangle into this level. I think we've already broken out from this level here, and so I think that the target is probably you know, only closer to $35. But I think, you know, getting a break above 32 obviously is just confirmation. Breaking the all-time highs will be incredibly bearish. Always is bearish technically. So see if Mutual gets above 32 today. All right, Able. I wanted to look at Able just from the point of view of, you know, when we talked about this level when it broke out from about this level, 1680, 16. Where is this level? 1680, 1690, somewhere there. We closed at 1685 yesterday. So that's sort of the level you can see there. We're right on support. I'll zoom it forward here. We're right on support as of yesterday's close to where we broke out from, and we've really moved down here in a flag today, or sorry, in a flag to yesterday's close. And after we've broken out, to me this is a really nice setup. I think it's a decent opportunity to buy here. If we definitely, without question, if we can pop above $18, then I think you can really jump on the back of this thing. So I know that is quite a ways from here, you know, in percentage terms. But bottom line is, I think there's some upside here, potentially off this support level and Able. All right, ShopRite. Have a look at ShopRite. I wanted to just kind of go and look at this from the tops here. And look at where this trendline resistance kind of comes in. And then what's also interesting is it matches up really nicely with what I think is resistance. If you can throw some lateral resistance here, once this 183 number. I mean, I remember talking about this back in the first half of the year. We kind of kept getting up to this number and failing, kept getting up there and failing, and those levels line up perfectly. So, you know, if you're on the long side of ShopRite, I think 183 might not be a bad place to take profit. If you know, obviously if it can manage to pop up above it, it'll be quite bullish for the stock. But I think, you know, seeing as how this thing's just made a nice little run from down around 170 to, you know, that might be a decent place to look to lighten up a little bit. All right, and then the last one I'm going to show is Arcelor. Arcelor, you can see here, is making it's definitely bottomed. Looks like it's bottomed for the year. You know, if you go back, you know, further, you can see how we came out of this huge downtrend. We finally got out of this massive downtrend in Arcelor. We broke out nicely there to the upside, and we've just kind of been putting in a bit of sideways consolidation. So this consolidation runs all the way back to to the middle of June, and I think that in my mind we can definitely have a nice extended move to the upside here if we can break out in this kind of, sort of continuation pattern. Could put us all the way up to closer to 44 bucks if we can get through this level at 38 in Arcelor. So just watch it closely. Sorry, I would actually peg the level. It's a touch below 38. It's harder to see here unless we get really short. Let's get more accurate with it. 37, call it 37.70. We can get a nice close above 37.70. I think we could be off to the races. And Arcelor, it's only 20 cents away. It could put us up north of 43 if we get a breakout there. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.